Hey guys, welcome to the amazing video of ToolsRus walkthrough. So in this video, you're gonna learn about Debuster, Hydra, Nmap, Nikto, and Metasploit. Don't worry guys, this is a premium room, and if you don't have premium, then don't worry. If you're someone who is preparing for your CEH practical or someone who is preparing for your eJPT practical, then this room will help you a little long term. So anyways, let's begin this video. So if you don't have premium, then you have to watch this video till the end. You're not practicing, but you are watching this video, understanding the concepts and moving on, so that you will be able to understand a lot of concepts, and you'll be able to understand the concepts that you don't remember. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. First, I started the IP, and you know that we are going to use Debuster and Hydra, Nmap, Nikto, and Metasploit. You can also use any other directory enumeration tool instead of Debuster. Yeah, have you remember any of the tools, like an alternative tool for Debuster? Like we have derp, we have GoBuster, we have DoSearch. So the best part that you need to remember is think about the alternative tools. Like when thinking about Hydra, is there any alternative tool? When thinking about Nmap, Nikto, Metasploit, think about alternative tools. So that's something that you need to have as a skill. Okay, anyway, so let's move on to the questions. Like, what directory can you find that begins with the G? So basically we have the IP address, which here is the target IP. So I'm just pasting the IP in the browser. So this is what I'm able to get. So the question here is to find the directory that begins with the G, and when I move to the hint, I was able to see use Debuster. So basically we mostly use GoBuster, Deb, etc. You can also use those tools also here, but Debuster is a tool that is the GUI tool, which is graphical user interface tool, as you can see. So I'm just pasting the IP address here and clicking here for the word list. So here I'm just moving to slash, and I'm just moving to user, share, and I'm just searching for the word list. So here is our word list. So here I'm just moving to the Debuster, and you can also see a lot of word lists available for Debuster. So here I'm just using the dubs common.txt anyways. So this is my favorite word list. So I mostly use this common.txt in the dub directory. So after it's done, then you can just click the start button, and that's it. You'll be able to see the contents in the terminal, and of course in this application, in this GUI tool. So basically most of the people, I think, does not use these kinds of GUI tool for their penetration testing, and in this lab they are saying to use this, but you can also use some other tools like Debuster, Deb, GoBuster, etc., which also great. So here you can see it is extracting the .php extension. So here I think you don't have to extract any kind of php extension file. So I'm just going here, I'm just stopping the scan and going back and make you understand some concepts. As you can see, dir to start with is slash, and the file extension is selected as php. I'm not going to selecting any kind of extension. Without selecting any extension, I'm just clicking the start, and as you can see, if you're going to brute force files, then you must say what the file extension. So there is some kind of spelling mistake, I think, here, right? Look at the spelling of the extension that they mentioned. So anyways, so the directory may be HTML, the directory may be PHP or any other directory, right? So this is how it works. Like when you specify the directory, and it's by default selected as PHP, and it is scanning for the PHP in the beginning, but now it is scanning for .html. So which seems to be a great tool, but I don't like it. So the speed of the scan as compared to my fav GoBuster, this seems to be not a very good speed tool. As I am going to mention you one thing, like in this video, my primary aim is to make you understand the concepts, because this is a premium room, right? So you have to understand the concepts, not just answer to those questions. So that's why I think this video might take some long, but if you watch this video till the end, if you don't have premium, if you are not practicing still, this is enough for you to understand the concept. So that's the main aim and main purpose of creating this video. So that's why I'm just explaining the concepts something more than what you think. So anyways, so as you can see, this is the directories that this booster was able to extract within this amount of seconds, and still I don't like it, so I'm just going to stop it. You can also do some things like you can just go back and stop, and this you can see number of threads which seems to be the speed. Like I'm just clicking go faster, it is selected to 200 threads per minute per second, I think. So yeah, I'm just not gonna changing the extension to anything. Let it be default like the PHP, the one in the beginning. So yeah, I'm just clicking start. Now you think it will do things faster, right? As you can see, it is now doing things faster, and the scan results was going pretty good as compared to before. Like it was not faster before. You have to change something to make this content faster. So here we got some directory here, as you can see. The guidelines directory found guidelines, and it's 200, which means a success code. You can also see these kinds of directory. I think it will be somewhere in the results, as you can see. The guidelines directory here, and the response here is 200. So this is how you find this. So as you can see, the guidelines. So the question here is to find the directory that begins with G, which seems to be guidelines, right? So guidelines. So this seems to be the answer. And whose name can you find from this directory? So the name of the person that you are going to find from that directory is, like, when I'm able to visit this directory, and I was able to find a user here called Bob. Hey Bob, did you update that Tomcat server here? So what do you understand from here? So as I mentioned before, this video is not to answer to those questions, but to make you understand the concepts. So not all people have TryHackMe Premium, so that is why I'm just making these concepts clear. So it will take some time to complete this video. So basically you have to understand the concepts. Like if you have premium, then you are watching this video for solving this lab. Still, I recommend you to watch this video till the end, because you have to understand the concept. Not just answering to the questions is not what you needed to understand. Okay, you just need to understand the concepts instead of answering to those questions. So some people like to answer to those questions only, watching videos, watching walkthroughs for just answering. But you don't have to be like that, because you just need to understand the concept, so that it will be helping you in your cybersecurity journey. So anyways, the name that we found from that directory is Bob, and we just answered Bob. That's it. You are moving to the next question. So don't be like that. You have to read the entire content. We know that a user Bob is here, and the thing that is here is, did you update the Tomcat server? So this seems to be a Tomcat server. So that's something that you need to keep in mind for future questions. So that is why you have to become an ethical hacker, not just a script kiddie. Okay, so yeah. I'm just viewing the page source. There is nothing in the page source. So yeah, let's move on to the next question. So here we can see what directory has basic authentication. There is a directory which seems to be having a basic authentication, and we just need to find the directory which has a basic authentication. So this scan, I just don't stop this. So it will enumerate some other directories also. Here you can see there is a directory seems to be protected. As you can see, rest of the result seems to be guidelines or something like this. So there is some kind of these are the files. As you can see, file and dir stands for the directory. You have to look for the dir here, and here is our directory which seems to be protected. So let's try to access the protected directory, which seems to be suspicious, right? So yeah, let me try to access protected directory. Oh my god, I just spelled wrong. Here is it, and this is the directory, protected directory, which is asking for authentication, which seems to be username and the password. You have to enter the username and password. So the directory here is protected. So what you can do is just copy the content and paste it here, and that's it. So we have to move to the next question. It is saying that what is the Bob's password to the protected part of the website. So as you can see from this question, we were able to find that there is a protected part in that particular website, right? So here are the protected directory. So we just need to find the password of the Bob. So username Bob is the username. I don't know the password of Bob. So how we can find the password? Of course, using Hydra. As you can see, use Hydra. How we can enumerate the password of this Bob. So first thing that I'm going to say that this is unauthorized. Okay, so I'm just inspecting the contents, and in the network tab I'm just accessing it again. As you can see, it's about get request, right? The method here showing is get. So I'm just entering some random contents like Bob and some random contents and clicking sign in. Nothing is happening in the network, nothing is going in between in the network. So if you can't capture it using Bob. So that's what I think. So the only thing that you find it's in this directory is about using the get method, not a post method, not a form or something like that. So how we can crack it using Hydra? Before cracking using Hydra, you just need to know this. Like this is only get method, nothing happening. Like whatever you are entering, it is not reflecting in the network section. So that means it's just symbol. So I think I can end this brute forcing directory. So let me stop this, and let us use Hydra to brute force this. So yeah, let's use this. Oh my god, my terminal is full of debuster commands. So let me clear this. So anyway, so we are going to use what? Hydra. How? So yeah, here it's our command like Hydra and -L here for specifying the username, and here it is Bob, and -P for specifying the password list. So here we are using user share word list. rocku.txt is a word list that we are using, and after that you have to specify the IP, which you will get from here in the TryHackMe, which seems to be target IP address. And after the target IP address, as I mentioned before, in this here you can see in this inspect option, this option you can see this method is get method. The network is nothing is happening in the network when you enter the concepts. The network is not going to change. So here we can see it's only a get method. So after entering the IP, I am going to specify http-get. That's the only thing that you need to specify. After that, you have to specify the directory where you are trying to access. So this here is our directory. So I'm just pasting this directory. So this is the command that you need to use in Hydra to crack or to brute force this particular part of this for penetration testing. So anyways, you are learning Hydra, right? So Hydra minus a small l for specifying a single username. If you are specifying a word list, like if you don't know the username, then you have to specify minus capital L and specify a word list which contains usernames. So here we know the username, so we used minus small l. Like that, if you know the password, then you can use minus small p and that particular password. But if you don't know the password, then you have to use minus capital P and the word list. Okay, so here I don't know the password, so I just use the minus capital P and the word list, which contains lots of passwords, right? So anyways, after that I specify the IP. After that I specify this is a get method, so I used http-get, and after that I just specify the directory where this is, like /protected. And after that I'm just pressing enter. I hope you understand the concepts. If you don't understand this, go back and hear it, and you will be able to understand, I think. So anyways, we were able to get the password. Here is bubbles. So yeah, let's use this password. Here username is Bob and the password is bubbles. And here we were able to access this protected page. Has now moved to a different port. So it is moved to a different port. So anyways, let's answer to this question. So it is moved to a different port. So anyways, what other port that serves a web service is open on this machine? So before going to the hint, you just need to think how we can enumerate the ports. So which tool will help you to enumerate the ports? Think about it. Are you able to remember the tool that is helping you to identify the ports? Yes, you know it, right? It's Nmap. As you can see, use Nmap. So yeah, you have to get the content in your mind. So anyways, I'm using Nmap and -sp for service version, and after that let me specify only the IP address here. So this scan seems to be taking some time. So as you can see, when I press some buttons of this scan, it will say you the progress. As you can see, it's 25%. Anyway, so the main aim of me, because I started this one, which seems to be the attack box, for getting the answers so faster than your mission. So if you have attack box, then that means that you will be able to get answers to these kinds of labs very faster than using your own lab. So anyways, we were able to get the results here. As you can see, we have 1 2 3 4 ports open here, and the port 22 SSH, port 80 HTTP, port 1234 again Apache Tomcat. As I mentioned before, you have to read, you have to understand all. First we just used to access the guidelines directory, right? So what you were able to get from the guidelines directory, I will remember. As you can see, it's about Tomcat server. As you can see the Tomcat is here, right? It's Tomcat server. So the question here is saying that what are the ports that serves web service is open on the mission. So the port that service as web seems to be HTTP, and this is the default HTTP port 180, and here the other port here is 1234, serves as a web server. So here the answer to this question is 1234. So here you can see you just need to access that. So 1234, let's try to access 1234, like colon 1234, and the directory here is protected. Here it is. So we were able to see so nothing. So it's not in protected, I think. Yeah, you just need to access the 1234 directory only, 1234 port only, right? You just don't need to specify protected. I just forgot that. So anyways, don't worry. If you're seeing this, you have successfully installed Tomcat. Congratulations. So this is about Tomcat, right? So the question here is, what is the name and version of the software running on that port? So from question 5, this is the question 5. In this port we can see the thing the running is Apache Tomcat 7.0.88. so this is the answer. And the next question is about use Nikto with the credentials you found and scan the manager HTML directory on the port you found above. So we were able to find the credentials, right? So we just find the credentials. Like what credentials? Maybe Bob, and the password seems to be Bubbles, right? We just find the credentials, and it is saying that use Nikto. How we can use Nikto? And in the hint it is saying that remember to use the credentials and check for just documentation files. So you just need to specify the documentation files as answer. How many document 0? Maybe question errors. So basically I think you just need to find the number of documentation files available in this particular directory by using the tool Nikto, and with the credentials that you found. So anyways, let me try to access this directory, and it is asking for the username here. I'm just specifying Bob, and the password which we find it before, which seems to be Bubbles. Okay, anyways, let's sign in, and we were able to access this directory, and here is our content. So our basic aim here is to use the Nikto tool. So how you use Nikto, like Nikto -h and IP is the basic usage of Nikto, right? This is how you normally use. But for this question, it is saying as to use with the credentials that you found. Use Nikto with the credentials you have found, and scan the manager HTML directory on the port found above. So what we can do, like I'm just opening a new tab, let that Nikto scan, and I'm just entering Nikto -h for the help menu, and here you can see the help menus, and you can see -id. Here you can see host authentication to use. The format here is id :pass, which seems to be id seems to be the username, and the pass seems to be the password. So you can specify -id and space and specify username and password. That's what I think. And you can just enter Nikto, and here you can also specify -url, which seems to be the target host, or URL, which seems to be the alias of host. You can also specify -h, -host, or -url. This seems to be the alias, which seems to be the shortcut of -h command maybe. So yeah, let's use -url, or you can also use -h. So yeah, I'm here using minus URL, and here is our content. I'm just pasting it here, and minus ID for specifying the ID, which seems to be the Bob and Bubbles. And here it is, we just perform the scanning. As you can see here, successfully authenticated to Realm, a Tomcat Manager application with the user separate credentials. We were able to authenticate successful. So let's see the scan results that we performed before. As I mentioned before, if you use some tools in your own VM in these TryHackMe labs, then it might take some time to complete. So that's why, for making the things faster, I just started the attack box before. So yeah, let's use the attack box for this scan, because some of the things will take time on your mission. It is faster in attack box. So it is recommended to use attack box for that. So let me use Nikto minus h and specify the URL. So here is our URL, so let me use it. I think there is no copy paste here, so let me enter it in the clipboard and let me paste it. Here is it. Our scan seems to be faster, I think, which seem as you can see, you were able to enumerate a lot of things faster in attack box rather than using Nikto in your mission. As you can see, we were able to find the Tomcat documentation, but here they are saying us to use with the credentials that you found, right? Use Nikto with the credentials you have found and scan the manager HTML directory on the port found above. So anyways, let's use this, and minus ID Bob colon bubbles. And as you can, oh my god, let me execute ID instead of D minus D. So anyways, as you can see, I was able to specify minus the content like Nikto minus h for the host name. Here seems to be the URL minus ID for specifying the ID. And here I was able to find Tomcat documentation, only one documentation. So I think that is not the answer to this question. So let me answer one, which seems to be the wrong answer. After trying some lot of things, even with some AI tools, still I was not able to get. But the thing here is, I just tried it without the credentials. Like I just used the Nikto minus h for the for this URL, and I was able to find the Tomcat documentation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them by just using minus h. And my this scan is also with the credentials. I am just scanning with the ID. Still I was not able to find, but without the credentials I was able to find it from my own Kali VM instead of this attack box. I just tried multiple things but still not able to find all those things. But my basic scan in my terminal in my Kali Linux was able to find this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tomcat documentation for documentations. So yeah, anyways, just answer this as 5, and which seems to be correct. And so what is server version is the question. Next question, look in your Nikto output for port 80. So we just need to scan using Nikto on port 80 to get the answer. So here I'm just copying only the IP, and I'm just stopping this, and I'm just using Nikto minus s for the host IP on port 80. And as you can see, we were able to find the server, which here is Apache 2.4.18. so here it is. So what version of Apache Coyote is this server using? So here you can see in the previous scan, as you can see, Apache Coyote 1.1 is what is displaying in the previous Nikto scan, right? So to the answer to this question is 1.1, which seems to be very simple, right? So the next question here is to use the Metasploit to exploit the service and get a shell on the system. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you can see there is an Apache Tomcat. As you can see, there's a Tomcat here. So you just need to exploit this Tomcat service and get a shell on the system. So how we can do this? So yeah, it's about Metasploit. Let me close this and start my Metasploit framework console. Still, a lot of people uses MSF console, don't know the full form of MSF console, which seems to be Metasploit framework console. Okay, so you have to remember that because you are watching my video from Cyberark. So anyways, I'm just entering search command and searching for the Tomcat, and I was able to find 75 modules, which seems to be post, auxiliary, exploit, and a lot more. So let's try to do something like we just need to gain an access, right? Gain a shell, right? So let's try to search for Tomcat with the type of exploit. So it will search for exploit modules in the Tomcat, and as you can see we have 18 of them available right now, and we still don't know what to use. So what we can do is, like, we just know that we just need to find the contents of Apache Coyote 1.1. So we will use the Google to search for the exploits, and here it is. I was able to see an Apache Tomcat Manager application deployer, and here is the code that I got. So let me first use this deploy code. So let me use stop this Nikto, and let me use this module here, and I'm just entering options, and I just need to set the R host, which seems to be the target IP, and I'm just copying the target IP address from the TryHackMe. So I'm just entering set, not set G, which seems to be the global variable, which means that whenever you use some other modules, if this module is wrong, then you have to set the R host for the next module that you are using, right? So but when you use the set G command, which seems to be the global variable, if this module is wrong, then you can use the next module, then all the commands that you set now will be there. So you just don't need to set it again and again every time you use a new module. Here in this session of Metasploit, you just don't need to set the R host, set the L host, or do something like that. So that is why using global variables helpful, which seems to be very good. Whenever you use other modules, it will automatically use the settings that you added right now, like the R host and like the L host that you set. So I'm just setting R host as global variable, L host, which seems to be my ton 0. So I'm just entering has ton 0 my TryHackMe IP. So I'm just entering options so that you'll be able to see it seems to be ton 0, the listen. So let me execute the ifconfig command. As you can see, this is the ton 0, and here it is. Here is our IP. So let me use that as my IP. Here it is. So it's done. So now what we need to do is to use the options command. We set the L host. Remember, we are using TryHackMe. So here in this L host, you have to specify the OpenVPN IP address, and you can see the R ports, which seems to be not in port 80. So we just need to send our set G for global variable, and our port to something called 1234, because Apache Tomcat is running on 1234. So you just need to change that also. And we do have HTTP password, HTTP username. So yeah, we can also set that as global variable. HTTP username seems to be Bob. Oh, it's not Bib, it's Bob. And we also need to set the HTTP password, which here is Bubbles. So that's done. So everything is set. I'm just executing the run command, and here it's saying that it's filed, unable to automatically connect. Maybe this doesn't seems to be that. So anyways, let me try to use something other than using this module. So what I can do now is to use some other modules, like instead of using this Tomcat module, so what I can just search for some other modules. So let me use the back command for moving back from this module, and let me try to execute the command that I entered previously. And what we found from here in the browser, which seems to be an exploit module of Tomcat MGR. So let's search for MGR related modules if it has one. So let's search for Tomcat space mgr, and here we can see up to 8 modules we were able to sort, and here we can see an excellent ranking module seems to be an upload module. So we just used this deploy previously, so we can just try to use this also. So yeah, we can just enter the command use and the module name, and here I'm just entering options. As I mentioned before, we just performed a global variable before, so everything that you said before was there. You just don't need to set again and again whenever you use a new module. So that's the purpose of setting as global variable. So now I'm just run using the run command, and as you can see, it's uploading, it's executing, it's sending stage undeployed, and boom guys, we were able to get a meterpreter session. So I'm just entering ls. Here I can see a lot of files. So the question here is what user did you get shell as? So I just get the meterpreter session, so I'm just executing the shell command. Now I just get as a shell, so I'm just entering the bin bash -a command for getting a proper shell. As you can see, it's root. So when I enter who am I, as you can see, who am I, as you can see, I'm a root. So the user that I get shell as is root. And what flag is found in the root directory? So there is a flag in the root directory, so we can access the root directory, and here it is, there is a flag. So let me cat that flag. So that's it. So I was able to get the flag from the root directory. So I'm just copying that and pasting it here, and that's the end of this module. So I hope you learned something more from this video, and thank you guys for watching. If you have any doubts, then you have to watch this video again, so that you will be able to understand clear doubts if you are not using a premium, if you are only watching this video. If you are someone who is watching this video for just solving TryHackMe labs, then remember guys, you just need to understand the concepts. Okay, from that being said, this is the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.